Soul, or hey, it's Soul. Tomb of Sargeras is coming June 20th, 2017, which basically probably most likely means that the 725 patch is going to come out the week prior because that makes sense. Of course, it's not going to. Of course, it's not going to come out after the raid launches. After with. Of course, they're not going to launch the patch after the raid launches because that just kind of messes with everything. So let's get that out of our heads. But there's a conversation going on forums, or that's been going on actually, with regards to the launch of the Tomb of Sargeras raid and Final Fantasy 15's expansion. I'm sorry, 14's expansion, Stormblood or Stormblood. I forget the name. Oh crap! I totally forgot the name. Anyway, that's going to come out on the same day, and there's kind of a tinfoil hat conspiracy theory going about, oh my god, they're coming out at the same time. Obviously, this is Blizzard's way of sticking it to Square and trying to mess with the Thunder, just trying to make a mess out of things. And I don't agree with that at all. I mean, so first off, with regards to like this whole tinfoil hat conspiracy theory of whether or not Blizzard and Square have like this thing going on with competing with themselves, do I give a shit about that? Absolutely not. It's nothing. This has nothing to do with it. Actually, I believe Greg Street, or AKA Ghostcrawler, mentioned something in a tweet with regards to these kinds of release date conspiracies. And I'm paraphrasing here. I don't have it on screen, but he basically said, "No, that is definitely not how we operate when it comes to like launch dates and things like that. These are planned months, years in advance sometimes, depending on what kind of content's coming out. And with something like a patch, I'm pretty sure that it's a pretty tight schedule with regards to, let's say, like the Legion Fall campaign. We're pretty much coming on to the tail end of that, and we expect to go into the Tomb of Sargeras after that, and so we are. Even if the campaign is like lackluster and full of no content or whatever kind of criticism that you have about it, that's all valid. But with regards to the timing, no, I don't think it's a very big deal at all. Now, based on merits alone, both Final Fantasy and the World of Warcraft, they're both very, very good MMOs. They both have a very strong following, they both produce content, and so on and so forth. And then everything else in between that is just opinion based on emotion or whatever. But do they compete? No. And here's kind of why. I kind of compare it to, well, basically you can't really come to that conclusion that Blizzard is trying to screw Square over by releasing on the same day. When it comes to other things, like when it comes to standalone games, when it comes to movies, that's when you want to care about release dates. I recall that the Warcraft movie was supposed to come out, I think, in the same month that Star Wars, The Force Awakens, when that was supposed to come out, and that's a very bad idea. You don't want to have a movie. You don't want to have your movie come out at the same time as fucking Star Wars. That's just a terrible idea. You're just asking for your movie to totally bomb. So that's why. Legendary Pictures or Blizzard or whoever, they made the right decision and on pushing the date back to a better time slot. And think of what you want with the Warcraft movie, it probably did better given the release date that it was given compared to what it could have been releasing alongside fucking Star Wars. At the same time, you got to think about a game called Battleborn. Battleborn is kind of an Overwatch-like game, which is pretty bad saying that it's like that, but it's an Overwatch-like game. It was produced by Gearbox Studios, the people that made Borderlands 2 and 3 in the future. But this came out around the same time as Overwatch, and that also was a very, very bad idea. Not on Blizzard's part, because that was like the super hyped game, and there was tons of market and tons of interest in it. When Battleborn came out, it was just kind of womp womp. It came out to a very, very lackluster reception. Even if it might have been a decent game, well, at least I played a little bit of it myself. It wasn't that decent, but it just made things so much worse. And the big thing is that these when it comes to those kinds of releases, the date really matters. You can possibly delay it, and that's the other thing. You can delay the release of a game based on just how it might compete with another game especially of the same genre. That's a good idea. When it comes to an MMO, though, that's a bit harder. There's a lot of expectation that comes with an MMO, and when you plan everything, you want to pretty much have everything out the door as soon as you can because people are thirsty for content. They want to do more. WoW is a game as a service, which is something that I believe is mentioned in a Kotaku article that I read recently. Whereas things like movies and standalone games, they're just what they are. They're movies, they're standalone games. Those can compete with each other. Those can cause interference when it comes to the release dates. MMOs, though, even if this is a coincidence, even if it has been a coincidence, I'm not buying it at all. This is definitely not something that it's not a theory that I can really entertain. Anyway, those are my thoughts, and more than anything, cool. We have a release date, and that totally blasted my prediction of waiting for a Q&A to release, to come out with an announcement date. So this is a little bit sooner than normal. Normally we get maybe like a week or so in advance notice, and here we're getting almost 3 weeks notice. So that's kind of neat. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening. Share your thoughts and stay breezy.